Welcome back to the channel. As promised in the previous video, the reintroduction, if you watched that of course, I promised a fun video, and everyone loves a good haul video, and I know I do. I've had a lot of books in recently. We've just had the Christmas period. I picked up some books in November as well, which I thought I might as well talk about here as well. This is probably the only haul you'll get really on this video for a good while. I don't plan on buying books, but all these books, most of them were gifted through Christmas. Some I have purchased myself, and that's just like the FOMO gets the better of me, and I know nothing about them, but I'll explain that in a second. But the first book I have here is a book that was gifted to me from our Secret Santa. So I think I mentioned in the previous video that I'm a member of the Comic Airwaves crew. We have a channel called Comic Airwaves. I will put the link in the description below. With that, we have a Discord server, which I'll also link below. You're free to join it. Again, it's somewhere that you can gather. It's quite small at the minute. We're trying to grow it as best we can, but it's there. Within that, we had organised a Secret Santa for those who wanted to take part. I did. I gifted my book, and I have been gifted a book, and it was Space Mullet. It was actually on my wish list because, simple fact, it's Daniel Warren Johnson. Now, I can't say here I know what this is about. Space Mullet, I'm guessing something to do with the mullet, because if you look at like Murder Falcon, it was like the power of heavy metal, wasn't it, and rock and roll and all the rest of it. He does a little crazy stories that you just end up loving, and I loved Murder Falcon, I loved Do a Power Bomb, I love his Better Ray Bill. His Transformers stuff currently, I still think's fantastic, but not in that level. Nothing to do with him. It's more I don't care for Transformers, but I'm still reading it because it's Daniel Warren Johnson, and this is some of his earlier works that he got reprinted with Image whenever he joined them to make the Transformers books. So, Space Mullet, looking forward to that. One of the books gifted to me at Christmas time by my my in-laws. That was my dad. My in-laws, I'm pretty certain, was Once in the Future book 2. So this was on my wish list. I read book 1, and I enjoy the Once in the Future stuff. This is the deluxe, the waste of money edition, sorry, with the slipcase, which people kind of criticise, which is okay, but once you have one, you have to get them all. You can't just go back to the normal deluxes. Anyway, so this is a tale of Arthurian legend, King Arthur, and there's like the English patriots are trying to resurrect King Arthur to try and bring England back to what it once was and all the rest of it, and then you have this little old granny. What was her name? I'm terrible remembering the details. But anyway, she had a career basically fighting demons and monsters and all the rest of it, and she kind of gets her nephew roped into this, and it's such a cool story. The artwork's fantastic by Dan Mora. I've read the first book, and I want to finish the series. This completes the series. This there's only 10 issues, I believe. I think is it 25 issues in total, maybe 26. And this is the final 2 paperback volumes of that. Sees the story out. Looking forward to reading that. That'll come soon. This next one does come from my dad, and it is Berserker. The deluxe waste of money slipcase edition. I read the first few single issues off this. This is, it's Keanu Reeves, Matt Kent. From what I can remember, there's like a soldier who's basically immortal, and there's parts of the story of him back in like the medieval times, and now currently he's almost being used by the government as a military asset, kind of like the Winter Soldier, to carry out their kind of dirty deeds and all the rest of it. That's enough. All I need to know that I want to get into this. It's 15 or 16 issues total. It's a complete story. There have been a few spin-offs since, but I don't think they've collected anything like that of those, in these kind of editions. They may come down the line. But yeah, Berserker, probably going to be a movie at some point, because Keanu Reeves is fantastic and could probably do it, and the guy looks like him. So, yeah. So these next books are quite heavy. Probably the heaviest books I own, and it is Preacher, The Absolute Preacher, volumes 1 and 2. I'm not going to lift both of them, I'll just talk about them. This is phenomenal. I read the first book one, or is that right? Book two of the paperbacks, which is like 2 paperback volumes, and it's batshit crazy. It's completely I mean, it's taking the piss out of certain religious groups and all the rest of it, and I just remember reading it and being in awe of what's actually happening, and the length of the storytelling, and the type of the storytelling, and the art. I really enjoyed the art by Steve Dillon, and I don't want to go too much into it because I want to read it all again from scratch. I have the first 2 absolute editions. This is I gather the best format to read this story, or certainly to own this story. I'm seeking out volume 3, but it's still quite pricey, but I'm sure there's a reprint coming down the line at some point. So yeah, absolute Preacher 1 and 2, Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon, vampires, death, blood, crazy stuff. It's fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to getting into it. Up next is The Road, the graphic novel adaptation. It's from Cormac McCarthy's The Road. Manu, I'm not going to say the name because I was going to offend him. But yeah, like, I got this for Christmas. I've read The Road a lot of years ago. It's particularly grim and bleak, but still wonderful storytelling about a father and son kind of traveling through the terrain of this kind of world that's basically fallen to pot and destroying itself, and it just kind of shows the evils and the within people, but obviously hope of the father and the son. And it is bleak, and it's not, it's not one that is going to bring you a lot of joy reading, but certainly interesting and intriguing. But this could be slightly different. It'll be interesting to see, have they taken any creative liberties, have they done anything differently from the book or not. But I'm really enjoying these graphic novel adaptations of really classic stories. There's been a few already, there's a few more coming out. To Kill a Mockingbird's one, 1984 is one, there's loads. And I feel like if you don't have the time to read a novel, this is the next best thing. So yeah, The Road, looking forward to it. Chip Zdarsky's been one of my favourite creators the last 4 or 5 years, really. And it's typified by his typified. One of his most notable works was his work on Daredevil. I have volume 1, this is volume 2, so that again this sees out his run on Daredevil. It includes a couple of mini-series he done, so it's not just the Daredevil run, it's Woman Without Fear, and that's Elektra, who we have in the front cover here. The Devil's Reign, the main series 1 to 6. There's a Devil's Reign omnibus, which I'm not going to get. There's a lot of tie-ins involved in that, but the main series of Devil's Reign is in here. And yeah, there's his Daredevil 1 to 14. He kind of ended his Daredevil run and then rebooted number 1 for 14 issues, which I'd never really understood, but sure, it's all here. It's his whole collection within the Daredevil world. Really great run. I've read it, to be fair, in single issues. I want to reread it here at this point, and it's a case where Daredevil he goes to prison for accidentally killing a man, and you deal with his time in prison as well as Elektra putting on the mask, putting on the cowl, and down the line you find that he has to kind of train. Why am I struggling? It's either the foot or the hand. The foot's the turtles. The hand. He has to create an army basically, and he is the leader of it and all the rest of it. It's fantastic. I could do reviewing this down the line, but trust me, read this book, these 2 books, volume 1 and 2. That's number 2. Looking forward to it. This next book is one that is complete FOMO because I know nothing about it. It was released towards the end of last year. It was fairly cheap in comparison to the oversized hardcovers that were really hard to get, because they're very expensive to get, and that is Scalped Volume 1. It's by Jason Aaron. I literally know nothing about it. Shall I read it? Maybe that will... Yeah. FOMO buy, which I'm going to stop this year, but I didn't last year, of course. But, yeah, so 15 years ago, Dashiell Bad Horse ran away from a life of abject poverty on the Prairie Rose Indian Reservation Now he's back with nothing to his name but a dark secret to hide. Working for the FBI, Special Agent Dash is forced undercover to investigate former activists, new tribal leader, and suspected crime boss Lincoln Red Crow. I'm already sold on that already. Like, for me, not knowing anything about it and relying on other people's opinions and regard for this book, I'm sold. I'm not reading any further. That's me done. I'll read it one day. Soon. But the last book is a big book, and I paid over the odds for it. It's a book that people thought we would never get. Once that we got it, they kind of thought it's going to go out of print. You're never going to see it again. I had the FOMO. DC versus Marvel. This kind of sold out everywhere fairly quickly, apart from like comic book shops who are charging like 130, 140 pounds. Some places 140 pounds. Let's see. Well, it's $150 is the RRP. So say in pounds, say 125, 130 pounds. I was like, I'm not paying that for a book. I can't. I really can't. There were some sites had it for 70, 80 odds, but they sold out. Like it's like the bots got them. They were just so quick you couldn't get it. And then some stock arrived onto a site, and I ended up paying 100 for it. Sorry, 100 minus a discount code. I think it was 5% off that, whatever that is. And I fine. And that's probably the most expensive I've paid in a book in a long time. I don't pay that for these, and you shouldn't either. Don't do that. But that was complete FOMO. DC versus Marvel. I don't think it will be printed based on the fact that everyone's saying that, so I don't know any different. So DC versus Marvel, it is what it says in the tin. DC characters fighting Marvel characters, but I'm sure they come to a common ground and fight a common enemy at some point. Because you see Darkseid's down there, you got Luthor, you got Deathstroke. Don't know who that person is, but I can just imagine the villains are basically conquered with the joining of the heroes. I assume. I know nothing about it. I haven't read it. So yeah, that's the fun stuff. That's the first haul. The last haul of the year. First haul of this year. I don't intend on doing much more. I mean, it is my birthday in February, but I don't know. I don't have many books on my list now that I want to do. I want to focus more on reading this stuff behind me. There's so many unread, so many series is unfinished. That's my kind of goal this year. It's my intention this year. But here's a good haul for you. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you read any of these books. Are they any good? Are they rubbish? Is Sculpt any good? It sounds great. Let me know if you've read it, what you think about it, and any books here that you would like me to talk about in more detail. I'll add them to the top of the pile. I'll do that if you say so. And any comments, they want to see a review of anything here, go straight to the top of the pile. That's motivation for reading. Definitely. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.